Good evening everyone. Thought we'd get another review out. This is one that I've had in the collection for a number of years, but I found a very cheap second example on eBay. And this is of course the Skymax Grumman F8F Bearcat, one of my favourite aircraft on the display scene. Grown up with the one at Duxford, which is currently being made by Skymax, so a review awaiting at some point, which I've pre-ordered. And really enjoyed the likes of Stephen Gray hooning around the skies of Duxford. And a special great memory of the Bearcat being Stephen Gray's last performance. I think it must have been Legends 2016, when he obviously went round and did the solo to Pink Floyd's Shine On You Crazy Diamond. There was not a peep from the crowd. People just watched and enjoyed it. And it's always an aircraft that I really enjoy seeing. The ultimate piston fighter alongside the Sea Fury. Great displays over the years, especially with the much missed Richard Grace in the Sea Fury and Pete Kinsey in the Bearcat. An unbelievable display to close the Legends, I believe, was in 2019 in the Joker routine, and that was absolutely sensational. So let's get into this and have a little look at it. Right, so here she is out of the box. Another little factor as well, which I really like. So Skymax, for those who don't know, who are a subsidiary of Hobbymaster. And one of the things they don't do is provide a certificate or card in there. But what they generally do is on the back of the box or on the inside of the box, in the main Hobbymaster ones, they just give a few facts about the Bearcat in this instance. Not about the specific Bearcat and the squadron it's in. I'll read a little bit more about that in a minute. But this is just general aircraft stats there in terms of what the Bearcat is about. And of course, what's in the pack. So the up undercarriage is in place. I've removed it for this instance because I'm putting it in gear down mode. And the bits in the bag, and I guess this is a little frustration, is that each part comes individually packed, which means you sort of have to cut them open with a pair of scissors and you can't put them back in. And I guess that's the difference between this and Corgi. They have a little sort of vacuum sealed bag you can put all the bits in. I prefer that personally, but each to their own. For those who know, I'm a gear down guy, so I generally put the aircraft on its gear anyhow. That's just the preferred look I like. So yeah, it's obviously two down undercarriage. These are the gear doors, and of course the down undercarriage there. One other little interesting factor with the Skymax one, as you can see, is a little plug underneath there, and that plug is basically to fit onto the stand there. I don't know if you can see, there's a little sort of nodule on the stand, but it does fit up. What they've also considered is that it can fit on to the stand with its fuel tank on as well. So let's get her on her gear and see what she looks like. So here she is on her undercarriage. What I can tell you from assembling it, the gear doors are awful, so they'll need a little bit of blue tack, just the tiniest little bit, just to hold them in place. It might be because it's an older aircraft, and the landing gear door is exactly the same. So the landing gear itself is exactly the same. But aside from that, it is a great little model. It looks really menacing. In this case, with the two bomb configuration, 4 rockets and fuel tank underneath. And they do a variety of these. I think there's 9 or 10. There's a French Bearcat out there as well, which is incredibly hard to find. And as already alluded to, the Fighter Collection Duxford based one is due out within the next month or so. I've ordered mine through Jumblies. I can't wait for it to join the collection. This is the age-old thing where these retail now for about 60-65 quid. I think I paid something like 59.99 or something with Jumblies for this, but it is quite a small aircraft. It's sort of held Wildcat size, so Corgi were always saying about the Wildcat or CR42 that they have to start charge a standard rate for it, and it isn't a very big piece of kit, but it's a lovely piece of kit for me. The detailing is really, really nice. This was released around about 2008-ish, I believe. Initially, this is nearly 20 years old, this mould, but it's a great little dinky mould. Again, doesn't come with a pilot, but it's easy enough to get that canopy off and put in a Hobbymaster pilot, if you can order them, a Second World War pilot or one from a broken aircraft that you want to slip in there in naval gear. But really, really happy with this. This is Bearcat number 9, I believe, in the collection, and certainly we'll add some more. Really like the yellow writing on the side of this as well. And for anybody who's watched the film Devotion, about obviously the Corsair pilots in Korea. There's a really stunning piece of aerial cinematography involving two Bearcats when they're in their training missions pre-Korea, and it really shows off the sleek, elegant look of the Bearcat and what it could do performance-wise. And it's a great aircraft, it really is. Obviously arrived too late for World War II, but did play a part in Korea. I believe it was issued to something like 24 squadrons in total. So there was enough of them around, and obviously now, sort of in the modern era, often was used at the Reno air races as well. You know, Rare Bear being an example of a super powered Bearcat that used to go around the pylons 500 miles an hour or so, which must have been some sight with a scream of that that engine coming into view. So yeah, there you go. There's the Bearcat. I'll attach some pictures on the back of this. Hope you enjoyed the video. As always, please subscribe to our YouTube channel if you haven't already. We're now had a little bit of a rebrand. I'm really happy with it as well. So the plan is when we do a new aircraft, we'll use the new rebrand with that aircraft on, just to sort of introduce the video in and know what we're about to review. Just a little bit of feedback for some of our viewers, and I think that's just a nice idea. But hope you have a good rest of the week, and I'll speak to you soon.